doctor.
Save up to 50% on your medicine bills. Ask your doctor or pharmacist if Pharmacodynamics has a generic medicine that's suitable for you.
Cholesterol is essential for our existence. We can't live without it, but as is the case in life, too much of a good thing can be bad. The body makes all the cholesterol it needs, so we don't need the extra cholesterol we get from our diets at all. Cholesterol travels through your bloodstream in small packages called lipoproteins, of which there are two kinds. There's low-density lipoproteins, LDL, and high-density lipoproteins, HDL. LDL cholesterol is called bad cholesterol because it leads to a buildup of cholesterol in your arteries, contributing to blockages that can lead to heart attacks. HDL cholesterol is called good cholesterol because it carries cholesterol from other parts of the body back to your liver where it's removed. So the one removes, the other deposits. Familial hypercholesterolemia is an inherited genetic disorder in which your body is unable to remove LDL cholesterol from the blood, and that results in early heart disease. In fact, it may even have been responsible for the premature death of Leonardo da Vinci's famous Mona Lisa, who died at the age of 37. Worldwide, the incidence of familial hypercholesterolemia is 1 in 500 people, but in South Africa, the incidence is 1 in 75 people in our white Afrikaans-speaking community. Dis besonders algemeen, and it makes me want to stop speaking Afrikaans.
Despite its prevalence, few people have heard of familial hypercholesterolemia or know its dangers. Children as young as 18 months old have been seen in hospital with elevated cholesterol levels, so testing and diagnosis is critical. If you have the gene, it's guaranteed you'll have high cholesterol.
In the population as a whole, probably the commonest cause of a high cholesterol is dietary. So people are eating incorrectly, fast foods, etc. However, in the world, about 1 in every 500 people have a condition called familial hypercholesterolemia or inherited cholesterol. This is a condition you inherit from one of your parents and it's present from birth. And in these patients with inherited cholesterol, even if they live on lettuce leaves, they will have a high cholesterol really from the day they're born. Because it's an asymptomatic condition, they have absolutely no symptoms. Usually the first hint is a heart attack at a very young age. And unfortunately, I have many families where the first hint has been the death of, say, the father in his early 40s from this condition. So anyone with a family history or suggestive of inherited cholesterol should have their children tested at a very young age, because the recommendation now is actually to start treating before puberty, in fact at the age of about 8. I always explain it like a basin overflowing. It doesn't make sense to wait to clean up the mess. It makes sense to turn off the tap and prevent the buildup of cholesterol within the arteries.
My father was diagnosed with FH at the age of 36. He had a massive stroke. He was really young at the time, and the stroke nearly killed him. And I was 3 at the time when he was diagnosed, when he had the stroke, and as a result of that we started looking into his family history. We realized that his father died when my dad was just 2 of a heart attack, so also very young. And we were then tested, my sister and my brother and myself were tested at the time, and we were found to have inherited the condition.
So what happens is, because cholesterol is so important for the normal metabolism of the cell, every little cell in your body, as I said, it's like petrol for your motor car. You have little, what we call cholesterol receptors or LDL receptors on the surface of every cell. When your cell is short of cholesterol, it will use these little arms to take up cholesterol from the bloodstream. Now, in people with FH, inherited cholesterol, they have half the number of these little receptors than they would normally have. So they can't take up the cholesterol as well. So therefore, the level in the bloodstream is about twice normal. And the problem is with inherited cholesterol, even if you're extremely good with your diet, even if you're eating a very low-fat diet, because your cells are unable to take up as much cholesterol, the level in the bloodstream will be double normal. And the only way to get it down is with medication.
Some patients have a double dose of the condition from both parents, and their cholesterol level can be up to 4 times higher than normal.
Knowing that FH is hereditary and having a family of my own that I now need to think about, I have a little girl who's 2, I manage my own cholesterol by being on 2 forms of medication. One is a statin, which is usually prescribed for people with high cholesterol, but that unfortunately didn't work on its own. In my case, it didn't reduce my cholesterol to an acceptable or safe level. So I take another kind of medication in addition to that, and that has reduced my cholesterol to an acceptable level.
Main drug medication we use are drugs called the statins. They work by increasing, we can't increase the little number of those arms on the cells, but we can make those little arms work quicker to sort of circulate quicker and to clear the cholesterol. So statin therapy would lower cholesterol on average by 40 up to 50%. So the most important thing about FH is knowing you've got it, because it's totally asymptomatic. So unless you get tested, you will not know. Commonest cause of heart attacks out there is not FH, it's incorrect eating, not exercising, being overweight. We have an epidemic now of diabetes. So at a population level, we need to encourage people to eat healthily, maintain an ideal body weight to prevent this epidemic of obesity, diabetes, and cholesterol goes with that.
Up until now, I seem to have a clean bill of health. My cholesterol is at an acceptable and safe level, and that's what's most important. In terms of offering advice to other people who know they have the condition, or alternatively people who suspect that they might have the conditions, I would strongly urge people to get tested, to get their children tested, and then to take the medication that is prescribed, to follow a sensible diet, and to exercise, to remain active, but most importantly to take the medication, because with this condition that's the thing that can make the greatest difference.
Save up to 50% on your medicine bills. Ask your doctor or pharmacist if Pharmadynamics has a generic medicine that's suitable for you.
I want to live the best life.